Hi, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. I'm Casey McGovern. I work for Nursepreneurs. Many of you who are in our communities have probably seen my face and at least my posts in our Facebook groups and everywhere else. I'm here with Katie Harris, the founder of Nursepreneurs, and Patricia Delgado. This is going to be a mouthful, but she is the president of the Florida chapter of the Dermatology Nurses Association, as well as Sunrise NPPA Derm. And so we're here chatting a little bit about dermatology, skin health, wealth, advanced practice providers, and kind of the intersection of those three things.
Awesome. Well, Patricia, thanks so much for being here with us today. This is exciting.
Thanks so much for having me.
So the first thing and how we kind of got connected with Patricia was related to your conference that's coming up in like 2 weeks almost. So if you want to just talk about that, Patricia, and we can let people know what that looks like and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the conference is the 2023 Sunrise NPPA Dermatology and Procedure Conference. Also a mouthful, but the big part about that is the procedure component. So there's going to be a lot of really great presentations, but the highlight is going to be on Friday. We're going to have 2 concurrent sessions. One's going to be a basic procedure workshop. So attendees, a limited amount of attendees can sharpen their, no pun intended, shave biopsy skills, punch biopsy skills, incision drainage, marking out your excisions, actually doing the cut, different suturing techniques. And then the other workshop that we're going to have as well at the same time is going to be the HS deroofing workshop. And we're having HS, and for those of you who don't know what HS is, it's hidradenitis suppurativa. So HS expert Dr. Barry Resnick from South Florida doing a live demonstration on the stage with the patient, doing the procedure, and then the attendees, the limited amount of attendees that will be in that workshop will be able to follow along on their fake skin and the instruments provided by the conference. And we're also going to have a financial advisor doing a talk on financial freedom and passive income. We're going to have a comedian talking about how to incorporate comedy strategies into your visits, into your presentations, and into your daily life, just to, just increase engagement and, make things more interesting. And what else? We're going to have a hair loss assessment with the dermatoscope. So you'll be able to see on the big screen what we're seeing on the dermatoscope, and atopic dermatitis and skin of color. And also another highlight is a vitiligo patient talking about her journey from diagnosis until now. And she's actually the founder of a vitiligo support and resource group called Beautifully Unblemished out of Lakeland, Florida. And she is going to be speaking as well. So it's going to be a really fantastic 2 days, October 20th and 21st. And I hope that, whoever's listening will want to sign up.
Well, I want to sign up, and I'm not even a dermatology NP. It sounds really exciting.
I put the Sunrise Derm website in the chat for anyone who's watching, and I also linked the conference agenda itself, so you can see what Patricia's talking about, all those people. I don't know if you said, you probably did, that it's in St. Petersburg, Florida, which I happen to also be in Florida. And for anyone who hasn't been to St. Pete, it's like a very cute, very beautiful place to go and visit as well. There's tons of like great food and great drinks and super pretty beaches. So that's another bonus for this conference. Just wanted to throw that out there. So cute over there.
Yeah. And, I would say like the procedures aspect of that is so powerful, right? Because, like when you started out as a nurse, the things that we really wanted to do is be able to put a Foley in or be able to do, because you felt like you were contributing somehow and you felt like you were learning something. And, it was just a really big confidence booster to be able to do all those things. And I love procedures. That's the kind of stuff I gravitate towards, and love conferences that have that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny. My background is not derm either. I'm in pediatrics, and my most recent clinical position was an ENT, and I did not think that I would like the procedures quite as much. But honestly, anytime I got to go into the microscope room, I was like so excited. Unless unless it was a bug in a kid's ear. That's the only thing that I like would not do well with. But in general, the procedures. And then it's funny, the derm stuff always creeps in with ENT, and I'd be like dying to do something derm related, but I'd have to step back and be like, no, you're at the ENT office, not here for whatever's happening over here on your skin that I'm staring at. Derm is so fun. I don't know. I am so envious of the people that thought to go into derm, because for some reason it was never on my radar when I was going through school. Just not something I considered. And I think derm, I would go back and do derm now. It's just all the procedures. I think it's way more varied than people think it is. And from an entrepreneurial perspective, I feel like derm specialty, oh my gosh, as a advanced practice provider,
huge. Yeah.
Huge.
Can you talk about that, Patricia, a little bit about, I guess being a derm NP, and is this conference for newbies in the field, people that want to get into derm, people that aren't in derm, like who's it for?
So it's for basically any nurse practitioner, PA, and even RNs that are extremely passionate about dermatology. So maybe you're not in dermatology quite yet, but that's your goal. So, and honestly, I do invite urgent care, primary care, gynecology, because, one of our main focuses is the HSD roofing workshop. And really, it's going to be two parts. And the first part is going to be talking about HS, the indications for the procedure, what other options we have, just, general education around that condition in general. So, and our urgent care, our primary care, they are the front lines. They oftentimes are the first ones to see the patient presenting with the lesions, with the nodules, with cysts, the abscesses. And so it's really extremely important for them to be aware of what they're looking at and to make the right calls at that crucial moment, referring to dermatology or educating the patient about hidradenitis suppurativa instead of saying, oh, you just have an abscess. Oh, it's an infection. Or, oh, we just need to culture. So
abscess. But what's funny too is like, even as a nurse or a nurse practitioner, like the skin is obviously our biggest organ, right? And so everybody, as soon as they hear you're in the medical profession, they're like, oh, you have to look at this skin. And you're like, first of all.
Yeah, can you look at this rash? It's so true.
Oh yeah.
And but on the flip side of that, if you're not in derm and you're in primary care or urgent care, I do feel like it's also the thing that scares us the most in terms of like, oh gosh, I'm not good at derm. I don't know. It's just a rash. Like throw this cream on it. And if it doesn't work, let me know. I'll refer you to dermatology. It's like, oh gosh, derm, something, anytime it's a skin problem, you're like, oh, all right, here we go. So having that baseline knowledge, I agree, as a general practitioner or in the urgent care world, would go a long way. Yeah. I would say besides because besides the general respiratory viruses, kind of cold, flu, ear infection type stuff that comes into urgent care, I bet derm complaints are pretty high up there in terms of most common chief complaint.
Yeah. Or I feel like it's always kind of like that last add-on, because from, back 8 years ago when I did my clinicals for my master's, and so it was mostly primary care. And it's like you would see someone we would talk about hypertension, diabetes, hyperthyroid, maybe a couple other things. And then it was always like, oh, and last thing, I've got this itch in my scalp, or last thing, like, what is this? Or there was always like that little cherry on top of, oh, and also like my hair is thinning. Yeah. There was always that last thing that was usually like the dermatology complaint.
Yeah. So, I think some people are kind of maybe are like, wait, why is there a financial workshop? Like, I don't get it. And I was looking at a bunch of your Instagram posts, Patricia, and listening to some of the things you were saying about advanced practice providers and multiple income streams and sort of diversifying your income. And I loved the point you made, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit today, about being able to kind of take the power back in terms of practicing how you want to practice when you don't depend on one single employer and that one salary for your livelihood, right? Because it's real hard to stand up for something or kind of put your foot down in terms of the care climate when you're scared that if you get fired, you don't have an income to put food on the table for your family or to pay your, bills. So I just wanted to talk about that and your sort of advocacy around APPs having multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good point that you made about, that fear of being fired, but sometimes it's not even a fear of being fired, but just like a fear of not getting paid enough, or, when your salary is low, but all the procedures you do and all the bonus structure that you have is what actually gives you a normal pay structure, then all of a sudden you're put in this position where you feel like you have to do more biopsies, you have to, see more patients in a day, and sacrifice that precious time of education with the patients. And so by having, financial freedom, whether that looks like investing in the stock market or investing in real estate or commercial real estate, or other ways, that's why there's a financial advisor coming, and I'm not the one talking about it.
Right.
Just a way to sort of have, and also start the podcast, start your side business, coaching, online courses, like even if it's a course about knitting or how to, I don't know, train your dog. If there's something else you're passionate about, it, go for it, because having those side revenue streams, like you said, it kind of frees you from relying on the employer. And right now, more than ever, I think that's really important, because now the employers are, well, a lot of these private practices are getting bought up by private equity, venture capitalists, giant corporations. And the bottom line for them is money. And I mean, and that's just how it is. It's business. For them, it's business. But healthcare is not like that. We are dealing with human lives. Your goal can't just be to make money, because then what happens? You're going to start just doing all the things that make money. And you're going to say, well, yeah, of course we're going to fill your schedule with 40 patients, because that's what makes the most money. But we're healthcare providers. We're health care providers. We're here to care for people, which includes preventative medicine, education, hand holding, whether that's figurative or even physically. It's listening. And that can take time sometimes, and sometimes that's all a patient really wants, is someone to listen to them. But if there's that pressure of volume, reimbursement, then there's no time for that. So, but if you have your other sources of income, then you can say, you know what, I'm not going to see 40 patients a day. I'm going to see maybe 20 or 25 or 30 or whatever I'm comfortable with, and whatever I feel I can get my message across and listen enough to my patients and have them be happy with their care. So, and because you have your revenue coming from other sources. So I feel like that financial freedom component is really important. And it's like NPs, PAs, but anyone in healthcare, and just in general. But I just feel like in healthcare, it's even more important because we're taking care of people.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of the biggest things for me that I think, for me, when I sort of hit my official first burnout, I'll call it. I'm sure there'll be many more in the future as long as I remain in the clinical world at all. But it was very much that. It was like the constant onslaught of more. And then as an APP, not necessarily seeing a change in my own personal bottom line, despite doing more. And so, unfortunately, I think that's part of what leads to so many APPs and nurses exiting the healthcare force. But having that freedom piece allows us to kind of advocate for our profession more, really, right? I want to make sure we're talking about it too in a way that, like, this is about us and our profession too. It's not like you're I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, like disloyal to the profession by seeking those other streams and by diversifying, and you're doing good things for
it's keeping care in healthcare.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
So can nurses or NPs or PAs, if they're outside of the state of Florida, is this relevant to them as well?
Absolutely. Yes. Are you referring to the conference or to the specific?
I'm sorry, the conference.
Oh yes, everyone's invited, of course.
Okay.
I'm flattered that there are a couple of people that are flying in for the conference. That's fantastic. But it's also intentional that it was in downtown St. Petersburg, and it's, the hotel's on the water, so you can actually sometimes catch dolphins swimming around, or you'll see a manatee going under the pier. and it's walking distance from the pier. So it's a really wonderful destination if you want to make a little vacation out of it. I also did intentionally make it a Friday and Saturday, or we made it a Friday and Saturday, so that on Sunday you can just have the whole day to enjoy St. Pete, and then you can fly back in the evening.
Yeah, it's St. Pete is, so for those who don't know Florida very well, St. Pete's over kind of, it's on the Gulf side near Tampa. So by the way, Tampa is the closest airport and would be where you'd want to fly into if you're flying in from out of state. But it is, and actually Tampa's worth exploring as well. But between Tampa and St. Pete, there's just so many things to do, so many nice little sort of outdoor venues. Plus you get the Gulf breeze, which is beautiful. You're not in the middle of the state like I am in Orlando, where it's stagnant and it's like there's no ocean anywhere, despite being on a peninsula. It's just so pretty. And it's, I don't know, St. Pete feels really quaint. It's like, it's a real kind of, it doesn't feel like a big old touristy beach town to me. It's just quaint and sweet, and but it's trendy too. There's great shops and great restaurants and great, places to pop into.
So it's a 2-day conference, and people can come for both days, but they sign up in addition for the procedures workshops, right? And so they'd want to do that pretty quickly to make sure they get the workshop that they want.
Yes, we have, I think, about 5 spots left for the basic procedure workshop, but I think there's still plenty of room in the HSD roofing workshop space. So, but yes, it is limited 25 for the basic procedure and then 75 for the HSD roofing. And more people are welcome to sign up for the conference itself, but once those numbers are hit for the workshops, then those individuals will just watch instead of actually having the kits and the tools and and the hands-on part.
Are the procedure workshops an additional cost, Patricia, or
they are not? And the whole conference is $99. But do plan to
crazy
pay for parking though.
You're crazy.
You have to pay for parking. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, well, at $99 for the conference, I think it'll be okay. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And like you said, it's like a beautiful, is it a Hilton? Is that what I saw?
Hilton Bayfront. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Hilton Bayfront. So anyone who's traveled even a little bit and has Hilton points or whatever, you can apply it, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, at $99, it's worth flying from across the country to go to this.
Yeah.
Because that's about what my hospital gives us in terms of, continuing education money. So, and to get this type of, education, I mean, that's like, oh my God, that's so cheap.
There's literally no such thing as a conference that costs that much, I don't think, like that I've ever seen with that type of value that you're packing into.
Yeah.
Did I see something about you doing also professional headshots, Patricia? Is that? Yeah.
There's going to be a brand well, she does different types of photography, but she's kind of like a boutique photographer, and she will be doing kind of branding headshots because so I'm very much in the entrepreneur circle here in St. Pete. There's even a little group called St. Pete Girl Bosses, and so I just love the headshots for different industries. And like realtors and social media people and like this. And they always have those cool headshots where they're like leaning on their chair with their laptop or just like looking cool and putting out their vibe. And I thought, I feel like that should be a thing for nurse practitioners and PAs and and especially if we're going to be nursepreneurs, when we have our own brands. So I thought if someone wants to have their own kind of brand headshot, so I hired Cy Lux Photography, and she'll be doing brand headshots. So we'll have like a cute little teal chair, and she'll have a nice background, and we'll probably have a couch from the hotel for if people want to have a different type of seating area. And it's going to be more of a brand shot versus, the gray gradient.
Right.
And,
Yeah. So these are like more on trend sort of marketing material type headshots. This isn't your hospital ID badge.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's so disappointing to see like ghost pictures or a picture when from you like 20 years ago, or you or their friend hanging over top of, it's just, to have a professional picture is so important. And that's, I mean, God, that's worth $99 alone right there.
I know.
When is this conference?
It's
October 20th and 21st, sorry.
Okay.
I know. Katie, I already was like, oh man, the two of us are going to be somewhere else during that time. And I was like, oh my God,
I'll fly down to Tampa.
And the headshots are not an additional cost either, right, Patricia?
So everyone gets one. And then if they want to like buy more or do more, I think they can just add, like, purchase a package with Destiny.
All right, we need to send our nurses that are there, even if they're not interested in derm, just to go to the conference, to get the headshot.
Their one single headshot is worth the $99 that they pay. I know. And actually, we do have a few there that might be interested. So I will make sure that we reach out to them.
And you mentioned how like cool and quaint certain parts of St. Pete can be, and I actually reached out to a few local artists and a couple of local entrepreneurs, and there's going to be gift certificates for biofeedback from a local like holistic wellness place here in St. Pete. There's local artists paintings that are going to be for raffle as well, and the raffle tickets are free. You just have to interact with our wonderful exhibitors and our sponsors. So that's how you earn yourself a raffle ticket, and then you can get a queen bed corduroy beanbag chair, but it could be a bed as well, apparently.
I've seen those. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Patricia, did you put this whole thing on yourself? Like, did you create this?
My amazing board assisted me with, meeting. We were doing once a month meetings to talk about everything and spit out ideas and talk about it. And I did also hire a conference management company. So they've done like the logistical part, the sponsors, and they're getting like the centerpieces. I told them which florist to use because I have a favorite florist here in town. And she's like, pick out which one you like. And I'm like, I have no idea. So you pick out what you think is good. I just want to hold a really great meeting, but there were certain things that I wanted to make sure were there. So
sounds awesome.
Yeah, my wonderful board, they've been there every step of the way and supporting me and keeping me on track too, because sometimes I'm like, oh, what about this and this and this, and they're like, hold on, focus. But I need to say thank you to the sponsors as well, because that is how we're able to charge only $99, is because we did get a lot of support and financial support from the sponsors.
That's amazing. Well, everyone should go. Like literally everyone should go who catches this on live or on replay. So again, I put it in, it's sunrisederm.org. If you want to go and check it out, I put the links into the chat so you can click on them or just go to sunrisederm.org. And again, it's over in St. Pete, Florida, October 20th and 21st. So also the Friday, Saturday means you literally can fly in Thursday night after work and you only have to take off one day of work if you are working full-time somewhere and need to do that. But that's, for how much you packed into that 2-day agenda, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations, Patricia. That's amazing. I can't wait to, I really, really, really am sad that I can't come.
Are you going to take lots of pictures and send them to us?
Absolutely. I will definitely do that. I'm debating having someone video things, but I'm seeing if we do that or not.
Awesome.
I have to ask my board.
They're like, enough.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be awesome. You guys are putting on a really, really nice conference. And I love, again, that it's not, you're not just pigeonholing it, to derm alone. It's you're talking to the financial piece too. And the kind of entrepreneurial minded APPs and PAs out there. So everyone get there.
Awesome. Yes, I hope to see everyone there. Thank you so much, Casey and Katie.
You're welcome, Patricia. All right. If anyone has any questions, drop them in really fast because we're gonna wind down here in like 30 seconds. So if you have anything, drop them in. Dr. Aisha, who's an FNP, just said hi. So hi. All right. And if not, we're going to be on with Patricia again, I think next Friday. So if you have questions or want to come in and stop in, say hi, pick our brains, we'll be here next week as well.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. All right, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.
Yes, thank you. Take care.